I just wanted to show you some examples that we'll be doing in the lessons of multiplying and dividing radicals. So for the first one, we have radical 5 times radical 10, and basically you can use this rule that you can just combine them into one radical and multiply the numbers. So 5 times 10 would be 50. Now you should check if you can simplify that. So the perfect square that fits into 50 would be 25. So let's rewrite this as radical 25 times radical 2. So we are breaking it up again, and then we're simplifying. The square root of 25 is 5. Radical 2 is left over. Now when you're entering these onto IXL, I think I showed you in the last video, but just in case when you need to enter something under a radical, you just have to press this little radical button. So radical, for this one, it would just be 10. You can't simplify it. So that's what you'll be doing when you get to IXL. We might as well go over this one too. Radical and squared, they always cancel each other out. So square root of 2 squared means square root of 2 times square root of 2, which would be the square root of 4, which is just 2. So whenever you see the square root and the square next to each other, you can just eliminate both of them and put the number. Okay, so back to our examples. We have radical 3 times radical 20. So again, make it one radical, and that would be 60. 3 times 20 is 60. And I'm pretty sure the highest perfect square that fits into that is 4. So let's rewrite this as radical 4, and it's 4 times 15. That gives you 60. So your answer would be 2 radical 15. Now sometimes you will see coefficients in front of the radicals. This is where you could take those coefficients, multiply them, and keep them on the outside. So outsides can combine and keep on the outside. Insides combine and stay on the inside, and then we simplify. So 2 times 4 outside is 8. Under the radical is 2 times 10, which is 20. And then again, see if you could simplify. So we're going to keep this 8 on the outside, so it's 8 times. And then radical 20, so that would break up to be 4 and 5. Radical 4, radical 5. And square root of 4 is 2, so now we have 8 times 2, radical 5. 8 times 2 on the outside is 16, radical 5. We'll do another one like that. So again, multiply the outsides. 3 times 2 is 6. Multiply the inside. 6 times 8 is 48. Hopefully by now we remember this funny one. 48 breaks up to 16 and 3. So it's 6 root 16 root 3. Square root of 16 is 4, so we're going to have 6 times 4 root 3, which is 24 root 3. Sometimes you'll also see variables within the radical. So we're still going to just combine everything together. So one radical, and then we'll simplify. 14 times 2 is 28. And now these x's, I want to write them out. I'm never going to give you too many that it will be too much to write out. So x squared is x times x. And x to the 4th is x times itself 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first we can break up the 28 to 4 and 7. So it will be radical 4, radical 7. And then when it comes to the x's, basically you want to see how many times they are multiplied by themselves. So you can basically circle groups of 2 and see how many groups of 2 you have. So we have one x by itself, second group, third group. So since we have 3 groups, that means we're going to pull out also x to the 3rd. So it means we're going to need an x to the 3rd on the outside in our answer. And now we can simplify. So square root of 4 is 2. And x to the 3rd is also on the outside. You could write x to the 3rd and then 2, but it's just kind of messy that way. So I would write the coefficient, the variable, and then the radical. And that's your final answer. You can't go any farther. And we'll do this one more time, something similar. So we have radical 3 times 50 is 150. And then we have 3 x's there and 5 there. So that's going to give us 8 x's overall. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so first see how many groups of 2 x's you have. So once, twice, 3 times 4 times. So you know you're going to need x to the 4th on the outside. And then break up this 150. So the highest perfect square that fits into that would be 25. So we're going to have square root of 25. And it goes in 6 times, right? Because that would be like $1.50 in quarters, 25 cents. So pull out square root of 25 is 5, bring it to the front, x to the 4th, radical 6. And you will be using this in all your further math classes, so it is really important to know, especially the next section, which is dividing radicals. You definitely need to be comfortable with this for geometry. So when you have a radical in the denominator, basically we have this rule that radicals in the denominator are not allowed. So to undo the radical in the denominator, you're just going to multiply by it in the top and the bottom. So we're going to multiply, this is our strategy, multiply by radical 8 over radical 8. So that will give us 2 radical 8 in the top over the square root of 64. And then we'll simplify what we can. So radical 8 will break up to 4 and 2. And then the bottom, we have a perfect square now. So we just have 8 in the bottom, which is totally fine. We're just not allowed to have a radical in the bottom. We do have to simplify a little more for this one. Square root of 4 is 2. So now we have 2 times 2, radical 2 over 8. 2 times 2 becomes 4. So we have 4 radical 2 over 8. And then you should just simplify your fraction if you can in the front. 4 over 8 is 1 over 2. So it would be 1 radical 2 over 2 for your final answer. The next one might not be as many steps. Let's see. So same process, times radical 10 over radical 10. So in the top we have 7 radical 10. In the bottom we have radical 10 times 10 is 100. So the top we can't really do much with because we can't divide 10 by any perfect squares. And in the bottom, the square root of 100 is 10. And we actually can't go any further here because 7 over 10 doesn't simplify, so that would be your final answer. And we'll do one more. So we have 6 over radical 6. So again, times radical 6 over radical 6. So we're going to have in the top 6 radical 6, just write them next to each other. The bottom, this becomes radical 36. The square root of 36 is 6, so let's simplify that. And then we have 6 over 6, which just cancels out to be 1. So your final answer is 1 radical 6. So of course, if you have any questions on this topic, just email me and have a great day.